Hello guys and welcome to another video where today we have some more opinions. And you know what that means? Ryker's back for more! As you can tell by the title, people everywhere are getting so offended. And apparently he had something to say about that, but I have a couple of things to say first. In this audio, he never tells us about getting offended and how that's okay, because it's okay to get offended. What isn't okay is getting offended and then sticking on it and turning a mountain to a mountain. So, you guys, be offended, but move on. That's the point. Anyhow, without further ado, bring on Ryker.
Alright, I suppose I should say this a little bit. There's a lot of people getting offended nowadays over even the most minute and insignificant of details. Everything from jokes to outright media and things of that nature has been gagged, if you would. Even though it technically falls under free speech, which is mind-boggling to me. Everyone thinks they've got to protect the younger generation from whatever, be it from games in general because they are too violent, I say with quotation marks, or too sexual, again with quotation marks. Honestly, what is there that is absolutely required to be protected from? I mean, kids are going to get into games, they're going to choose what they want, not what their parents want most of the time. They just want everything to coincide with their views. A game is considered too violent by their standards, then it should be taken off the market entirely and completely forgotten about, and the developer of said game to be sued. Which is, frankly, just immoral, I guess. Simply because the fact you don't agree with a particular game developer's choice for whatever that game might be, or a comedian's choice and sense of humor, that doesn't give you a right to completely go nuts about them, sue them and gag them and all that sort of deal. A joke is a joke, and a game is a game. That's pretty simple, isn't it? But everyone out there is just making it so needlessly complicated, so to speak. I mean, seriously, Call of Duty and Battlefield were called some of the greatest games of their time. Now they're being labeled as murder trainers, which confuses me to no end. How can a game somehow magically teach a person how to kill another person without any regret or remorse? I don't understand. It just confuses me. I mean, seriously, yeah, it might be a violent game, but that doesn't make the player violent, does it? Most of the school shootings you see tend to have mentally unstable people managing to get a hold of guns. They're all usually a person who happens to not agree with a particular person in that school. And a lot of other people agreed with them, so we should go shoot them. Prove he's right for whatever reason. However that works. That's immoral. To just shoot a person for simply not agreeing with you, or because you were wrong in some way or other. And all those school shooters that have been appearing in the last 10, 15 years or so, they're all, for lack of a better word, pussies. Cats who just run at the very first sign of danger. ones who just cannot take a joke and man up in any way possible. They all explode in the most violent way possible. And it just... oftentimes, video games are the first thing blamed. Call of Duty and Battlefield are the two most often blamed as well. But they don't exactly portray you shooting up a school. I mean, I believe it was Modern Warfare 3 had you shoot up an entire mall. But that was for the purposes of telling a story. There has never been a game that I know of that just has you wandering through school with a handgun, needlessly murdering innocent minors, innocent kids, innocent teenagers, whatever you want to call us. They all just needlessly blame games that actually don't have anything to do with the actual crime. They're so quick to find a scapegoat and to try to push their agendas on gun control and gagging any form of free speech, be it in a game or some other thing, that they're willing to just outright say, oh, this is the thing that caused this murder, this person to go murder these people. How many people remember the names of the victims of the Sandy Hook school shooting? How many people remember the name that actually did the deed? I think it's pretty obvious what's going on there. They're publicizing the event to push their agendas of everything, really. They're trying to basically outright ban the Constitution entirely, which is wrong. Every person has unalienable rights in some way, shape, or form. A Nazi, sure, they might be a criminal, but still they have rights. It doesn't matter if you're a Nazi, a far left, a far right, it doesn't matter. You're still human, and you still have rights. But these people want to take these rights away. Anything that even so much amounts to free speech in any way possible. If it doesn't happen to further their own agenda or agree with their views in any way, they're just going to outright attack you for some made-up claim. It's completely mind-boggling in such a way. I'm honestly surprised at how our world has gotten in the past 15 or so years that I've been alive. Originally, games like Call of Duty and Battlefield were praised for their innovation and all that. But now, look at them. They're being thrown aside as if they were demons. The stories they have to tell sometimes are by far one of the more compelling stories of human nature at times, with many notable exceptions, of course. I completely forgot what I was going to say. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and just pass this off as a new chance to go on to something a little bit different here. there's a lot of times where people manage to get convicted of a dumb crime and are fined or even outright jailed simply because they cracked a joke to the wrong people. That's just sad, really. One person was convicted and fined 800 pounds simply because of the fact he trained a dog to, whenever he said a certain phrase, mock a Nazi salute purely as comedic effect. But he was brought to before a judge, convicted and fined 800 pounds. That just sounds extremely stupid in my opinion. And I don't know how many people are going to agree with me. It's ridiculous, even. I just cannot believe that they would convict a person for hate crimes over a joke. That is the true death of free speech. When comedy gets regulated and banned, as it was. So many people are crying out for gender equality or stop these human rights violations when they are themselves violating so many rights. This isn't even funny. It's ridiculous. They just want the world to be in a massive echo chamber. And honestly, I'm not one that's gonna allow that to happen. I don't want to live where your opinion is regulated. A world where comedy is outlawed is a world that I do not want to be in. Those are just my thoughts. I guess this would be me, Ryker, signing out. I guess. I mean, I don't really have much to go on because I did not script this in any way, shape, or form. This is just purely from my head. And I have to listen to this back and see what the hell I think of it. It might be decent or not. Anyway, if you wish to send some comments that I might be able to read on the channel, feel free to. I mean, I'd like to see some input. See what you guys think as well. Anyway, I should probably stop delaying the end any longer. This is Ryker signing off. See you in another video whenever I decide to come back on. I honestly do not know when. Okay, you know what? Bye. I'm Dragon. Goodbye.